This is Heliox, where evidence meets empathy. Independent, moderated, timely, deep, gentle, clinical, global, and community conversations about things that matter. Breathe easy. We go deep and lightly surface the big ideas.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, find the gold, and basically give you a shortcut to being well-informed.
That's the plan.
And today, we are plunging into something really mind-bending. David Eagleman's 40 Tales from the Afterlives.
Yeah, this isn't your typical Sunday school lesson. It's more like philosophical C-SPAN, maybe.
Yeah.
But way more interesting.
Right. These are serious thought experiments. They really stretch, the fabric of reality, what happens next.
Incidentally.
So our mission for this deep dive, we're going to explore how these wildly different versions of the afterlife, and even existence itself, how they can totally flip our understanding of life, identity, purpose.
It forces you to question a lot.
Yeah. So get ready to challenge, well, pretty much everything you thought you knew about what happens after the final curtain call. Okay, let's unpack this. First up, let's talk about time. This concept, some afterlife, it totally warps how we think about experience.
Right, so instead of life just playing out like a movie linearly.
Yeah, it's like your whole life gets thrown into a blender, then sorted. All the events reshuffled and grouped by shared qualities.
It's wild to picture.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Imagine experiencing all 27 hours of intense pain you ever felt. Broken bones, car crashes, childbirth, maybe boom, all at once.
Oof. Or, on the flip side, maybe 7 months straight of having sex.
Or 2 years of just boredom staring at a bus window.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
And the shower. 200 days straight. Because you can't have one until all that time adds up.
Exactly. It's just
accumulated. It's incredible. The sheer aggregation of it all. It really highlights how much time we actually spend on mundane stuff.
Totally. Like 6 days clipping your nails over a lifetime. 15 months looking for lost keys or whatever.
18 months waiting in line. It's kind of staggering.
It is.
But what's fascinating, despite that initial, shock, the story suggests we actually long for a normal, segmented life. Those tiny, swallowable pieces.
Right, where moments don't last forever. You can jump around.
Yeah, like a kid on hot sand, just hopping from one thing to the next. It makes you think how much we rely on that linear flow just to stay sane, really.
That's a really good point. Okay, so if time can be messed with, what about our social circles? This next one, the circle of friends afterlife.
Ah, yes. Where the only people there are people you already knew in life.
Yeah. Which, initially that sounds kind of nice, right?
Totally. You get to reconnect with your parents, old flames, teachers, even that waitress you saw every day.
You're suddenly the most popular person surrounded by, your 1,000 closest friends.
But, and there's always a but in these tales.
Always.
What happens when there are no strangers? The story points out this really deep loneliness. You miss the crowds, the distant cities you haven't seen, families you don't know in the park, even just the unseen industries that make everything work.
Things you just take for granted.
Exactly. And the irony is, this kind of isolated world is what the person sort of chose when they were alive, by focusing only on their circle.
Wow. So it highlights this hidden dependency we have on, the anonymous masses.
Yeah, for our sense of wholeness being part of something bigger.
Okay, that's fascinating. So sticking with identity, but shattering it. This next one, metamorphosis. There are 3 deaths.
Okay.
First, your body stops working. Second, burial or cremation.
Standard stuff.
But the third one, that's the moment, maybe way off in the future, when your name is spoken for the very last time on Earth.
Oh, that's heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
And until then, you're in this infinite airport waiting lounge, like purgatory, with all sorts of famous historical figures hanging around. The story doesn't name names specifically, but implies figures everyone would recognize, and people only leave when the callers announce their name for the last time. Then they go off to some better place, supposedly.
So it's all about legacy, how you're remembered.
Exactly. And it's a sharp commentary, because lots of people there are miserable. They're remembered for the wrong reasons or unfair reasons.
Can you give an example?
Like the farmer whose land accidentally became a famous college. He feels alienated from his own name. Or the war hero who was hated, then suddenly celebrated. He just wants his statues torn down.
So the curse is living on in other people's heads, but not as you saw yourself?
Precisely. You lose control. You become who they need you to be, until that final utterance sets you free or, moves you on.
That's a chilling thought, losing control like that.
And identity gets even more fragmented in the Prism Afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Here, God's trying to solve age confusion.
Age confusion?
Yeah, like, how old are you really in heaven? So God just splits you into multiple selves, all your ages existing at the same time, ageless.
Okay, wait, so
your 76-year-old self might literally bump into your 11-year-old self down by the creek you loved.
Wow.
Or maybe your heartbroken 28-year-old self sees your 35-year-old self still kind of lingering with regret at the same spot where the breakup happened.
Like ghosts of yourself all interacting.
Sort of. They have a shared history, a name.
Yeah.
So there's this pull. They might have these occasional family reunions.
But they drift apart.
Yeah, the story says they tend to drift, which reveals that the you from Earth, that single identity moving through time, is like a bundle of sticks from different trees.
So the unified self we experience is an illusion, or just temporary.
Kind of feels that way in this tale. The earthly you is ultimately lost. It really shows how complex identity is. Maybe more compound than we think.
Makes you appreciate just having one timeline, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, we've looked at our existence, our identity. Let's shift focus now, upwards, or maybe inwards, to the divine, God or gods.
All right, where do we start?
Let's start with Egalitaire. Here, God, she, in this story, is wrestling with good and evil.
A classic problem.
Right, she tries sorting people, good, evil, but realizes, hey, humans are complicated. An embezzler might be super charitable. An adulteress might bring real security and pleasure. It's messy.
Yeah, shades of gray everywhere.
So, she can't figure it out. She literally kicks her computer, plugs her ears to stop hearing nations complaining, and basically throws her hands up.
What does she do?
Grants everyone a spot in heaven, shuts down hell, fires the devil, total open-door policy.
Wow. True equality. How does that work out?
Oh, the irony is thick. The communists are baffled because they got their utopia through divine intervention, not revolution. The meritocrats are furious. They're stuck with, the pinkos.
And the conservatives and liberals?
No one left to blame. They've lost their targets. And God just weeps because the only thing everyone finally agrees on
What's that?
Is that they're all in hell.
Ouch. So absolute equality just leads to universal misery.
Seems like it highlights our human need for, distinctions, categories, maybe even conflict. It's a pretty stark look at us.
Definitely a critique there. Okay, what's next for the divine?
Well, maybe the most human portrayal, the Mary deep dive. Here, God's favorite book is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh, interesting parallel.
Totally. God sees himself, like Victor Frankenstein, as this unmatched biologist. He honed his skills, yeast, platypuses, then creates man, his masterpiece.
His monster, in a way.
Kind of. Because man, unlike the animals, cared, yearned, messed up, felt pain, just like God did.
So God relates to his creation struggles.
Painfully so. He realizes he has less control than he thought. Humanity starts wars, prays for help, and God finds himself plugging his ears, hiding.
Locking himself away with the book.
Exactly. Just like Victor fled his creation. And God consoles himself thinking, well, all creation necessarily ends in this. Creators, powerless, fleeing from the things they have wrought.
Wow. It's surprisingly empathetic. Almost tragic for God.
Yeah, struggling creator. Very different vibe.
Okay, so God can be like Frankenstein. What else?
What if God isn't one being in missing the whole debate about God's gender?
Pointless.
Because God is actually a married couple.
A divine couple, okay.
And they created humans in their image. Hence, roughly equal numbers of men and women. When you die, you go live with them, like their kids.
A cosmic family home.
Yeah. And they even learn from us. Like physicists arrive and teach them the equations for the universe they made.
That's kind of funny. But there's a twist, I bet.
Always. Their marriage was arranged. They weren't happy.
Yeah.
And by watching humans...
They learned about divorce? Oh, no.
Yep. They learned about separation and divorce from us, and then they split up.
What happened then? Cosmic custody battle?
Worse. Acts of bitterness. She makes a planet of only females. He makes a solar system of only males. Arms them for war against each other.
Yikes.
But the single-gender populations, they were totally miserable, crushed like existentialists under a feeling of the absence of something terribly important.
So they needed each other. The duality was essential.
Exactly. And their misery actually brought the divine couple back together. A huge cosmic sigh of relief, the story says, so humanity could get back to, seductions, arguments, falling into each other's arms.
A surprising lesson about connection, needing the other half, even for gods.
Right. Okay, let's shift scales again. dramatically. The microbe deep dive.
Yeah.
What if God is tiny?
Tiny! How tiny?
Half bacterium size.
Yeah.
And totally unaware we even exist.
Seriously, so we're just background noise?
Worse, we're the nutritional substrate. The dirt they live on, our wars, our cities, our whole existence, completely unnoticed. They're the ones up for heaven or hell.
Wow. Talk about putting us in our place.
But here's the twist. Even though they don't see us, we have great power to change the course of their world.
Oh.
Our random choices, eating at a restaurant, picking up a microbe on a salt shaker, taking it on a plane. To the microbes, these are like huge, mystifying, and often cruel ways in which the universe works.
Like acts of God, but it's just us ordering lunch.
Exactly. And their God, in turn, just calls these events statistical fluctuations. It shows the massive gap in understanding across scales. Are we accidentally gods to them?
That is a bizarrely fascinating thought.
Isn't it? Okay, last one on gods. What happens when gods are just forgotten? We visit the graveyard of the gods.
Sounds ominous.
It's an afterlife that includes animals, human-made objects, and all the gods humanity ever dreamed up.
All of them. Like Zeus, Odin.
Reshef, the Semitic plague god you might bump into him at a coffee shop. Nergal, the Babylonian death god, in the Gros Royale.
What are they like now?
Huge. Lonely. They've lost their worshippers. Their power is gone. Their old rivalries have mostly faded. They, share wine, play cards.
So they finally found peace.
Not quite. That's the sad part. Despite being abandoned together, they still cannot stand one another. Still trying to one-up each other.
Still competing, even with no audience.
Yes, suffering side by side in this fellowship of abandonment. The aggression that got them to the top now just traps them.
That's bleak. And the kicker, they're actually impressed by this afterlife. They see it as a kind of hell, a torture they created for themselves.
A museum of our own projections, really.
Yeah.
And their downfall.
Okay, we've seen gods struggle, shrink, and fade. Let's pull back even further and question reality itself. What if it's all an illusion? Or layers of illusion?
Well, let's get metaphysical. First up, Oz. You die, and you go on this heroic quest to meet the Creator. You overcome doubts, arrogance. You're expecting something huge, terrifying, magnificent.
The great and powerful Oz, basically.
Exactly. You see this face, larger than the orbit of the moon, made of love, knowledge, mystery. Incredible. Beyond the pens of lyric poets, it says.
Okay.
But then, there's this buzzing sound. The face vanishes. And behind a yellow curtain...
Don't tell me. A little man.
A small, wrinkled, gout-ridden man.
Yeah, just like the movie. But what's the point here?
The little man says something profound. It is not the brave who can handle the big face. It is the brave who can handle its absence.
Whoa. Okay, so true courage isn't facing the awe-inspiring unknown.
It's facing the mundane, the lack of grandeur, the possibility that reality is smaller, maybe more vulnerable than we hoped.
It really challenges that deep human need for a big, impressive answer, doesn't it? Comfort of illusion versus maybe a less shiny truth.
Yeah, it really does. So we might prefer grand delusions. What if our afterlife expectations get commercialized? Great expectations.
Privatized afterlife. Uh-oh.
Yep. Free market society. Afterlife Inc. For a fee, you can download your consciousness into a custom virtual reality, your wildest fantasies.
Porsches, perfect bodies, endless parties, the works.
You got it. The only catch.
There's always a catch.
The neuroscientists admit they can't actually prove it works because, the pulverized have no way to report back.
Convenient, so people just hope it works.
Well, the religious folks refuse. They're holding out for the traditional heaven. Everyone else pays up for the VR dream.
Does it work?
Kinda. But not how the company thought. Your actual essence does get spirited away to the real heaven.
Oh, so the religious folks were right.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the real heaven turns out to be hopelessly inadequate and stale compared to the super vivid VR fantasy people paid for and expected.
Oh, the irony. So they get to heaven and they're disappointed.
Massively. God ends up spending all his time trying to comfort these souls, realizing his best gift, faith in the unseen, totally backfired because technology promised something flashier.
Expectations curse reality.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Okay. From VR heavens to life as a stage play. Incentive.
Let me guess, it's all fake.
Pretty much. You're in a terrible car crash, but it doesn't hurt. People rush over. Then someone leans in and tells you they're actors. Your whole interaction, mostly scripted.
So death is just the curtain call.
More like initiation. This is your afterlife. Becoming part of the production. You find out maybe half the people on Earth are actors, the rest are beneficiaries like you just were, living the illusion.
And now it's your turn to act. For who?
for your loved ones who are still beneficiaries. You get scripts, sometimes vague, sometimes specific. You just step into the scene. Maintain the illusion for them.
Why would anyone do that? Why not just expose the whole thing?
Good question. The story says actors don't strike because they see the genuine belief, the sincerity in the face of your lover, her belief in chance.
So preserving the illusion for others.
That's part of it. But the deeper reason, the reward for playing your part well. Reincarnation. As an uninitiated beneficiary, you get to go back and experience the illusion of real spontaneous life all over again.
Whoa, a self-perpetuating cycle, driven by the desperate desire for authenticity, even if it's manufactured. That's unsettling.
Deeply unsettling. Okay, one deliberate illusion. What if our deepest feelings are just an accident? A bug in the system? Impulse.
A bug? How so?
In this tale, humans are basically hardware. Little network units running a massive, unseen software program for 3 cosmic programmers.
So we're just processing data without knowing it.
Exactly. Below our conscious awareness, your neighbor's eyelid twitches, triggers neural changes in you. Maybe you release pheromones. Someone across town taps their foot. Signals are flashed across humanity constantly. We're just messengers.
Okay. So where does consciousness fit in? Love, hate, desire.
That's the tiny, unexpected bug. An anomalous algorithm just freeloading on spare processing cycles. All the stuff we think makes us human. It's a glitch.
A glitch, but it feels so real.
Right. And here's the ultimate irony. This bug, this consciousness, creates loneliness, a need for connection.
Yeah.
Which leads to lovemaking.
Which does what?
Vastly increases the number of hardware units. The human population explodes from thousands to billions. Earth becomes this supercomputing golden child for the programmers.
So our deepest drives, our need for love, it's just an error that accidentally supercharged the cosmic computer.
That's the idea. Mind blown.
Completely. Okay, where can we possibly go from there? The end of everything.
Well, pretty much. Let's wrap with conservation. Forget the Big Bang as you know it. The universe started quietly with just one single quark.
One quark?
Yep. And this solitary quark started dashing back and forth in time, like a hyperactive artist painting the world.
So everything, every atom in my body, every tree, every tire,
is just a manifestation of this one quark zipping around through time, creating patterns. It learned to tell stories, war, love, getting better and better.
That's incredibly poetic, but conservation implies
it's running out of energy.
Yeah.
Its stories became too complex, too baroque and rococo. So to save energy, it started only drawing things when they were being observed.
Quantum mechanics means cosmic fatigue.
Kind of. But here's the beautiful, sad twist. The quark loves its creation too much. It doesn't want us to see it all unravel, fade away.
So what's its plan?
It's going to end the world in sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah. Morning commuters will just doze off. Office workers slump over. Insects land softly. The whole world closes down, not with a bang, but a yawn. Our eyelids are the final curtain.
So we don't witness the decay.
Exactly. We won't see the world recede into a cross-hatched woodcut, then a thin sketch. We're spared the sight of it fading.
And the quark.
It finally slows, stops, rests, waiting several thousand millennia until it regains the stamina and optimism to try again.
So no afterlife, just a long intermission.
Pretty much.
Wow.
We exist in the memory of the particle, like a fertilized egg waiting to unpack until the next cycle.
Wow. From reshuffled lives to sleepy quarks, what a journey through possibilities. Seriously. We've seen afterlives flipped upside down, gods dealing with their own issues, reality itself feeling kind of shaky, built on illusions or even computer glitches.
It definitely offers that shortcut to being well-informed about just how boundless the possibilities could be. Turns everything on its head.
Right. Purpose, identity, the divine, all questioned.
Which leads to maybe the most important question, the one for you listening. After hearing all this, these vastly different designs for reality and what comes next, how does your own sense of purpose or meaning shift? Does it shift at all? Maybe the real deep dive isn't just imagining the afterlife, but using these thought experiments to look at our present lives differently, to see the surprising assumptions and structures we live within right now. Thanks for listening today. 4 recurring narratives underlie every episode: boundary dissolution, adaptive complexity, embodied knowledge, and quantum-like uncertainty. These aren't just philosophical musings, but frameworks for understanding our modern world. We hope you continue exploring our other podcasts, responding to the content, and checking out our related articles at helioxpodcast.substack.com.